What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to continue uninstalling the parts from the steering wheel, and all the parts that I do use will be linked in the description if you guys want to check them out. So let's get this finished. It might be a long video, but I'm trying to show you guys as much as I can so that way you can do it yourself instead of paying somebody else. But yeah, that being said, let's get it. Alright guys, so let me get a closer look so I can explain what I was talking about. You see this thing right here? Right here, that's where the little hook goes through the back of it, so it doesn't go anywhere. And then the other one that had the loop goes inside this black one right here, and then it goes down to this bolt. So this right here is gonna go in the back of this one right here. That's why I don't want to lose this, so I just put it back on the bolt, let it hang there for now. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys a little close-up. Alright guys, so finally got some parts in. Let's see what we got. There you go guys, that's the tool I needed. There's the part number. It's a steering wheel pivot pin remover. Now let's see what's in the box. So this is the wire I broke on my old one, where it just broke off by itself, because it was so old. And this is the old one. So it's identical. I just got mine chrome because I wanted to change it up a little bit, and I think the chrome looks a little nicer looking. So yeah, same thing, brand new. Replace this. Alright, so that's the company I got these parts from. There's their information, phone number if you guys want to hit them up. And let's see, I believe that's the part number for this part. Alright, just letting you guys know. Alright guys, so all you gotta do is screw that in just like this. Screw it in all the way, or halfway at least you get enough threads in there so as you don't mess up the threads. Screw it in until it stops by hand, and then just move this around. And then you spin this nut to lock it in, and then you get yourself a half, and start turning until that pin pops out. baby's out. We'll go ahead and do the other side too. So now that I took those pivot pins out, this should come out so I can get to the bolts in the back. Well, it looks like I have to take this plastic thing from here out and this other part right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. This little plastic thing has like teeth on it. It grabs onto this. So I probably got to remove this and this in order to get out because it's not letting me pull it out. You probably see that it's kind of moving out, but I'm gonna have to move this out and this out. I'm gonna install this tilt, see if it's gonna help me take it out. So I put the tilt lever and pushed up. Take it off again. There we go. Alright guys, so I think that's as far as I'm gonna go with this right here. Got this little, looks like a key, goes right here in this little slot. So this right here, the slot right here goes in here. Just like that. So I'm gonna sit this on the side. So now we can see our bolts right here. Got two up here, and then there'll be two more at the bottom. So I'm just gonna take one at a time, clean them up, and put some blue Loctite. Make sure it's the blue one, and then do a bolt at a time, and then start putting it back together. Just a little close-up. Check this out. We'll see how it starts feeling when I tighten one at a time. You can see that. Look at that. This spins right out, and this is just by hand. That's crazy. Just by hand. Make sure you clean your bolts out real good, and then start putting your Loctite on it. Your blue Loctite. Tighten them up, but don't go too crazy with it. Look at that, already tight. That's only one bolt. Now let me get done with the rest of them. Do the same thing, clean them up, put some thread lock on it, and start putting everything back together. On that bottom bolt, there was no way for me to get to it, so I had to go in between here and my socket, made it all the way to the back. Alright, since this broke off, I'm gonna put the new one in, but I have to run it through the steering wheel column. So I'm gonna try to tape this together like this. Tape it, hopefully it doesn't come off, and run it through. Hopefully it doesn't get jammed in between, but if it don't, then I'm good. If not, I'll try something else. I don't know if you guys see the wire, but there's this one right here. It runs all the way back. Just have to follow it, unplug it, and plug the other one in. But I'm gonna keep pushing this out. I don't know if you guys see it. Move this out the way. This wire right here, gotta run it through. Alright, it's time to put everything back together. Finally got the wire through, ran it through, went through just fine. Plugged it in the bottom. Now this key thing right here is gonna go in like this, just the way I'm holding it. The teeth, make sure they're on your if it's facing you, the teeth is going to be on your right hand side, so make sure that goes in. And the back here, there's like a pin, and there's just a gap, where that gap, that's where the gap sits right here. The pin is going to sit right here, and then there's a gap, this is going to sit right in between the gap, and that's going to, I believe this is for the ignition. I'm not sure, but it goes in between that pin, and this sits right in the gap, and that should be in there. Can't be over. There's no other way to put it in. So make sure put this in right. And put this in just to help me a little bit. Pull this towards you. Remember, key goes in like this. This little notch thing right here goes in this little plastic. So just like that. And then I'm gonna try to slide that in. Try to hold this in place so it doesn't move out the way, because it's gonna move. I'm gonna use my long nose, see if that helps me. Well, maybe that's not gonna work. So next thing I'm gonna do is just gonna run it through here. Same way. Now this little plastic thing right here, I don't know if you can see that. It has this long nose thing that goes right in that little notch. So slide it in there, it'll turn right in. It'll line up with the teeth on this key. So now let's raise this up. Those 2 pins that I was telling you, they're in the bag. Try to move them forward so it'll be a lot closer to you. You're gonna hear a click. Move it as close as you can. Things like 2 clicks and it's all the way. And I'm gonna raise this up and then move this lever forward, the tilt lever. So it's gonna open this down in order to click over here on this side. I don't know if you guys see these two slots right here. When you pull this lever in, it drops this like they're not springs, they're some type of holder that goes down, and it's gonna go underneath these pins and it's gonna hold the tilt in. So move this towards you. Well, there you have it, guys. It's in there. Got my blinker there. I like that. And then this one, you just follow all the way down. There's this little switch on the bottom that has a little hole that the rod right here has to go right in it. So I'm talking about is this one right here. The rod runs right through. I don't know if you can see it. So what you can do is push this down and then mess with the rod and let it right in that hole. Alright, so I got this set up already on the bottom. The rod's already in. Ran the wire through on this blinker switch. It's good now. Now it's time to put everything back together. Alright guys, a nice little tip before you put this spring in here is lift your tilt up. That way you'll be able to push this in and out. See that? That came right out. Alright, but to put it in, if you have this face, if you have the tilt down, see how far more this spring comes out. You're gonna have a hard time to put this little cap in. So you're gonna make sure you lift your tilt up. All the way up. You see how far that spring went in? It'll be a lot easier to do that. Lift the tilt back all the way up. Push this in. Turn it clockwise and it's in. You're good with that. Just a little tip. blinker wire through this shell right here where the switch is at. I don't know if you can see. I had to run it through there, and I had it on the outside, so when I was putting this shell back in, it was pinching the wire, so I had to take it back out, all the way out, run it through here, run it through steering wheel console back in there, and now I'm going to put it back together, and it should be good now. Just make sure if you have one of these on a 1985 C10, I don't know what other years they have this wire, make sure when you put it back together it runs through here, right here, and make sure it goes in through this hole all the way back. Just a little tip, don't forget to put the wire through here, because then you're gonna have to take it apart again and it gets a little frustrating. But it's done. I'm gonna put it back together. Alright guys, I'm almost done. Just get pushing this in. Check this out, guys. Hey. Nice blinker, high beam, low beam, tilt. About done. I just gotta put the steering wheel back on. Ooh. Steering wheel, I'm gonna bolt back on. That shouldn't go nowhere. Get your little plate. Make sure it lines up with those holes right there for the screws. And then you slide that right in. You gotta put a little lock in here. That's in. That's it, guys. Finally got it done. No more wobble. Alright, so I plugged the battery back in. My left hand blinker. Right hand. Good. Emergencies. Everything's good. Steering is good. We're all good now. But let me know what you think about this switch. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Just want to say thanks to everybody that subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't, please do so. It does help my channel a lot. And don't forget, I still got that part 5 for the rear drop on the C10. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one.